SCP-001. The following files have been classified top secret by order of the administrator. In order to prevent knowledge of SCP-001 from being leaked, several/no false SCP-001 files have been created alongside the true/true files. All files concerning the nature of SCP-001, including the decoy or decoys, are protected by a memetic kill agent designed to immediately cause cardiac arrest in any non-authorized personnel attempting to access the file. Revealing the true nature/natures of SCP-001 to the general public is cause for execution, except as required under. Warning. Any non-authorized personnel accessing this file will be immediately terminated through Berryman-Langford memetic kill agent. Scrolling down without proper memetic inoculation will result in immediate cardiac arrest followed by death. You have been warned. Memetic kill agent activated. Continued life signs confirmed. Removing safety interlocks. Welcome, authorized personnel. Please select your desired file. Debhida, Eulalie, O'Fullhart's proposal. Item number SCP-001. Object class, Sampo. Special containment procedures. Remain calm, stand by, and await instructions. Description. Data permanently expunged. The loop has closed. The last speck of empty space on the Earth's surface that wasn't affected by the tower has been swallowed up. Maybe there are a few underground bunkers full of real humans, but they're on borrowed time before they succumb to the ontological enforcement of whimsy. Other than me, nobody knows where they actually were 2 months ago. Only false memories. Even I've been affected, partially. There have been a few times where I accidentally stated my name as Flipsy Sue, or that my father was a jolly butterfly farmer. The only reason the important memories are still intact is either because of my pirated clearance of this thumb drive, or maybe I'm just that angry. Either way, I can't wallow in my rage long enough to be idle. I don't know what I need to do, and even the suggestion of gradually forgetting my purpose terrifies me. So, while I still can, I'll commit these thoughts to memory, going over them every night until my task is finished. I considered writing them down, but a certain someone's remote-controlled eyes could be glancing over my shoulder the minute I've written something compromising. I must never forget the woman who betrayed me. I must never forget the world as it was, as it should have remained. I must never forget Piper, Vikat, Vajranya, the Seneschal, Lucerne, Milne, or anyone or anything else. And the day I forgive any of it, may my bloodstream go septic. May I fall rotting alive where I stand. It would be nicer than I deserve, for at that point I would be one of them. Act 1. A lovely day for waistcoats. The morning sunlight creeps through the curtains of your dining room on the nicest Tuesday morning of the year. Uninvited, but never unwelcome. Just like anyone else bold enough to bang on your nice brass door knocker. You watch with unease as dust drifts through the sunbeams. You've a great deal of spring cleaning to catch up on. Even your broom. That's the little toothpick in the corner with a few wool fibers tied on one end, is gathering dust. At this rate, you'll need another broom to dust off your broom. And what if that broom comes to need a broom? Or get a hold of yourself. Check your planner. You'll clean after supper this evening. Every task looks infinite until it reaches its inevitable conclusion. Now then, you've just finished your full Crinkletonian breakfast. 2 drops of piping hot Earl Grey, 2 barleycorns, 2 pickled grass tips, 2 heaping slices of a single raspberry, and 2 droplets of custard. Positively top shelf. Perhaps it's strange to have everything in 2s, but having 1 of any meal gets you jittery, like it wears its fleeting nature on its sleeve. Having a crumpet in waiting gives the illusion of abundance, even when it's gone. Overthinking's your only vice, but by your whiskers, it's got you in its grasp. Sometimes, it feels like you're the only field mouse in all of Crinkleton who doesn't know how to sit down and listen to the wind blowing. But if you can't relax, at least you can try. It's a day beginning with tea, which means you're off duty as the post mouse, and the day is young. Perhaps a morning constitutional would be prudent. Maybe you'll even see Miss Polly Twitchers on her way to her job at her uncle's cheese shop, and she can take her first glance at your nice blue waistcoat. She'd give you that look again. The same look in her eyes had its surefire way of making you feel like scones out of the oven. Might be a bit late to mention, but your name is Mr. Gregory Sniffings, and you're a little brown field mouse in a waistcoat and bowler hat. You live in the town of Crinkleton with some other little brown field mice, and maybe some bunnies. This decision is irreversible. You look like this. That settles it. Let's take a little morning stroll. Wait, I haven't read the morning paper. Or, what if I don't want to be a field mouse? What if indeed? Now there's a riddle for you. In your youth, your father, the Right Honorable Lord Phineas Sniffings, Esquire, seemed rather keen on you following his footsteps as a town magistrate. He even bought a powdered wig of your own for once you came of age, the silly goose. But over time, you demonstrated such passion and dedication for helping the mail go hither and thither, so much in fact, that even your father's obstinance wavered, and he gave you his unconditional blessing to become a post mouse. What if you could change further? What if you wanted to become something other than a field mouse? Perhaps a hamster? A rat? Or dare I even suggest, a gerbil? Of course, the average mouse on the street would call the prospect nonsense. But those clever owls at the University of Walmart have their way of surprising us with the secrets of naturalism, opening minds all over the Tri-County area. So what if they found a way to try on a new species as if it were a smoking jacket? What a riveting idea. Perhaps you'll speak of it with Mr. Horace in the Hole over tea time. I'll have something interesting to say about it for certain. Oh, well, best be off. Or, no, really, that's not what I mean. I came here for cosmic horror and bleak devastation. Get this Beatrix Potter tea and crumpet shit out of my house before it gives me diabetes. Okay, I mean... I would suggest being patient. That Scarlet King tag is here for a reason. Fine, geez, let's step outside and talk to the other icky wee mousies. Or, I don't have time to be patient. I have to be at Planet Fitness in 5 minutes to make the lunk alarm do its funny noises. It's the only thing that brings me true happiness anymore. The light stings your eyes for a second as the door opens, but one sniff, and everything's all right. There was a light rain last night, and the scent of petrichor absolutely has little petrichor fairies in it. That's like kissing the insides of wee nosies. That's the only way it could smell so relaxing, even for you. You toddle across the 4 bottle caps that mark up the path to your door. The dandelion in your front lawn casts a looming shadow, giving your eyes ample time to adjust to the sunlight. Time to go. Wait, let's be off. Or, wait, I forgot to lock the door. Oh, come on. This is Crinkleton, the safest town in all Blue Marsh. I can't take any chances. I'll go back and lock it. Fine. You go back and lock the door. Let's try this again. The light stings your eyes for a second. The door opens, but one sniff and everything's all right. It rained last night. Petrichor smells nice because it's full of fairies or something. Very relaxing. You hop across the bottle cap path. There's a dandelion in your front lawn. Big shadow. Eyes adjust to the sunlight. Time to go. Right, let's be off. Or, should I really be wearing such a wide bowler hat? It feels wrong. I don't want the others to say anything nasty about me wearing such a wide hat. Perhaps I should go get a slightly taller one instead. I can guarantee you that you're going to be the only mouse fussing about that wide hat. And I can guarantee you that life is unpredictable, and this hat went out of fashion ages ago. Taller one it is. You unlock the door, put the wider bowler hat on the hat rack, put on the taller bowler hat, close the door, and lock it. Let's try this again. Light sting. Open door, sniff. Smells nice. Petrichor. Fairies. Relaxing. Bottle caps. Dandelion. Big shadow. Adjustment. Leave. Now that I think about it, this waistcoat is a little tight. Word may start to get around that I've put on weight. Oh, dear. Perhaps I should doff the silly rag altogether and go with a nice spring pea coat. Let's head back once more. Oh my fucking god, your waistcoat's fine. Now leave. Oh me, oh my goodness. Whoever are you, tremendous and ephemeral voice, and why must you shout at me so? I'm... Notice, the narrator has taken an emergency 30-second break to have a glass of water or something. Be back shortly. Oh, you're the narrator? Fascinating. I don't think I've ever been narrated before. What does that mean? I mean, yes, for the purposes of the fourth wall, technically, I'm the narrator. But as far as the concerns of field mice go, I'm the voice of reason in your head. I'm the little part of your brain that tells you to do the sensible thing, so, you know, the opposite of that other voice, the one telling you to fret so much. So if you're the opposite of that other voice, then why are you both so cross with me? Well, because... Okay. Now I'm just bummed out. Frankly, at this point, we could both use a morning stroll. Lovely. Then let's be off. So here you are, once again sauntering along the pebble-paved pathway outside your cottage at number 18 Muffin Drive. Mr. Squirrelsbury passes by in his wagon, pulled by a team of his finest beetles, carrying some cornflour to the market, no doubt. He always knows where you're going, that Squirrelsbury. Were it only you had your affairs a tenth as together as he did. Then maybe you'd be friends. Tip your hat to Mr. Squirrelsbury. Ah, Gregory. Morning. Quite the splendid waistcoat you've got there, old bean. You deduce that he mistook you for a more interesting Gregory. Oh, and there's Mr. Horace in the hole. Strangest rabbit you've ever met, but he's one of your oldest mates. He's been digging an intricate burrow in his yard for years now. Not for his family, mind you. They keep to their above-ground estate. But he seems to love burrows for the sake of burrows themselves. In fact, just as you pass him, he's already started work on that second sub-burrow. He'd been going on about that. Hearing your watch chain, he peeks his head out and waves. Well, if it ain't Greg, you're looking sharp today. Tip your hat to Mr. Horace in the hole. Since he lacks a hat at the moment, he responds by slapping a hat-shaped clod of dirt on top of his head and tipping it. Told you he was an odd duck. As you near the corner, you can hear Mrs. Moulton, the notorious ill-tempered lunatic, hastily snipping the tips of her moss bushes. Good morning, Mrs. Moulton. Ah, Mr. Sniffings. Always a pleasure, sweetheart. She's off duty for her ill-tempered lunatic shift until 5 o'clock this evening. No one's quite sure why that job exists, but it's rollicking fun when she's making her rounds. And just as you reach the corner of Muffin Drive and Merriweather Boulevard, you see... Oh my. The fair Miss Polly Twitchers. Once again in your presence. Her fur's just a twinge longer and 6 twinges softer than any other field mouse you've met. There she stands in her hat and sundress, darting her head about, as if looking for something. Your heart beats in double time. You've known her, and fancied her, for over a year now. So every interaction with her carries the non-zero chance of you making some stupid mistake and causing her to despise you. You wish you could make sense of thoughts like that, but it seems as if you're the only one in all the town over who still has them. Either way, there she is. Maybe this could be your big chance. What will you say to her? Picnics exist, aren't they lovely? And just a nanosecond before you throw up from the sheer embarrassment, she giggles. Your heart's soaring once again. How long until it crash lands? Well, I'd rather hope picnics exist, you silly thing, she says. Now, Gregory, if you have a moment, there's something I simply must speak to you about. Oh, tomato salad, she's finally sick of me. Sure, what is it? She clings to her purse nervously with both hands as she speaks. You see, Gregory, keep this between us, but there's a bit of a delicate situation I've run into at my uncle's cheese shop. Just yesterday, on my way back from a holiday in Skunksbrook, I saw the most amazing thing on the northeastern high road. There, at the crossroads just beyond the western thicket, there was wild cheese flower, sprouting like the hardiest cut of white cheddar my eyes ever did deign to witness. It was at least 10 times my size. Amazing. Well, surely your uncle's over the moon about such a find. You could keep the shop running for ages with something that big. Oh, Greggy, you know how Uncle Stanley can be. Word of anything good will always be too good for him, unless it's right in front of his nose. I even told him where it is to see for himself, but he'd sooner let it rot than potentially waste a quick jog to the northeast. I want that cheese in our shop, and I know he'll want it. It would save us both a great deal of trouble. So, that's where you come in. So, you want me to carry a piece of cheese that's 10 times your size into town? No, silly, but you've gone cheese hunting before. You know the ins and the outs of it, where to cut, how to carry it, etc. I don't need you to bring back the whole of it, just a big enough chunk that he'll finally know what he's missing. And the very second he sees proof, he'll charter a beetle cart to haul it over forthwith. She reaches out and clasps your right hand. Oh, Gregory, I loathe to ask for a favor during your time off, but would you be so kind as to bring some proof of my find, if it's still there? Yes, Polly, I will. Cheese, I'll get all the cheese right away. Gonna get the cheese. You spin around with a quick wave, sprinting for your house on all fours. You're not about to find the cheese in your house, but that's where you keep your best cheese sword. From behind, you hear Polly laughing softly at your eagerness. Then best of luck, Gregory dear. Well, it's good that she wishes for my success, but that laugh. Is it because I'm earnest, or am I a joke to her? Not that I blame her, of course. I'm entitled to no particular reaction, but I don't know. I just can't help but feel like I make an ass out of myself at any given opportunity, and oh, whatever has become of my life. Anyway, you're on the northeastern high road now, cheese sword in tow. Now shut up and have a nice little cheese hunting adventure before I hit you with my shoe. First, I'd better check my sword to see if it's up to snuff. Can't have it breaking down at a critical moment. You take a good look at your sword. It is a purple cocktail toothpick that's been sharpened a little. Oh dear, should I go back and get a sturdier one? Nobody makes field mouse-sized steel broadswords. Then perhaps I should step back home and grab my kitchen knife. Your knife is a piece of broken cocktail toothpick. Oh, fiddle-faddle, then I'll just buy a stronger knife, perhaps a metal one. Nobody makes field mouse-sized metal kitchen knives. How dreadfully inconvenient. Nothing to it but to grab my cheese gun instead. What the? You don't have a cheese gun. Then I'll buy one. No one in Crinkleton has a gun. Oh, I'd better check Skunksbrook. Nobody has a gun. Oh, come now. Surely someone's got to have a cheese gun in Skunksbrook. They keep the shops brimming with cheese. How else would they bag so many cheeses if they didn't have something so useful? Nobody on the entire planet knows what a gun is. Then how do I know? What is a gun? Oh, well, it's this lovely creamy thing you make with eggs and milk. Usually, I like having it in a raspberry trifle. That's custard, you fucking donkey. Oh, well, it sounded like another word for custard. How the fuck would custard help you in a cheese hunt? Well, the tastes complement one another nicely. Mr. Narrator, are you quite all right? Why, yes, Mr. Narrator. I am done being an obnoxious little shit. I'm going to go on the cheese hunt immediately and not discuss this any further because I don't suck. Don't fuck with me, wee mousy. Before too long, you're at the very crossroads that Polly spoke of. Look, there's that towering post in the middle with all different little directional signs. Sunksbrook to the northeast, due east, that's the University of the Walmart, southwest, Crinkleton, naturally, southeast, that's Sparrowville, Mink City, and the seaside resort of Walruston. And to the north, some town you've never heard much about called Dirtsdale. Finally, to the west, there's no sign, for no road goes there. But there's the thicket, and behind that, well, you haven't ruled out the possibility that the cheese flower could be behind it, but there's a white and beige tower of something or other standing in front. Take a closer look. You slip through the thicket silently, and sure enough, there's the cheese flower. A thick stem bends over, dangling a hefty cube of cheddar in the air. Polly may have exaggerated the size a bit. It's only about 4 times her size. But she wants it, and that's what matters. As for the beige and white lump, yes, fascinating. Yes, indeed. Indubitably, yes. Yes. It's a young barn owl, from the university, no doubt. He's starting at the cheese flower and jotting away little notes with his talon, dipping a claw in his inkwell every so often. Oh, bother. Do you suppose he got a claim on the cheese before you could grab a chunk? Only one way to find out. Pardon me, good Mr. Owl. Oh. Though his body doesn't move a millimeter, his head turns to face you. Those eyes. You're not sure why his eyes fill you with your body with such a chill, but they do. There can't be any rational basis for it, can there? I'd wager you're a Crinkletonian, he says. How do you do? The name's Owen Barnaby, third-year botany student at UWM. Who might you be? I'm Gregory Sniffings. Is this your cheese flower? Mine? His head tilts. Well, for the time being, it's my specimen. But when I finish my field notes, that is... He scratches a few final marks in his notebook. Now that I have finished my notes, it could be anyone's. You weren't going to take the cheese home and eat it, were you? Me? Hoo, hoo, hoo. No, thank you. We owls can't stand cheese. We can't even digest it properly. Sickening stuff, after all. He leans towards you, narrowing his eyes. You do know what an owl's favorite snack is, do you not? Your blood runs cold. Mice? Mr. Barnaby rears his head back in a furious fit of giggling. He nearly tumbles over, and the reason he doesn't is because he does a little 1-foot hop at the last second. In a few seconds, he only barely regains his composure to keep talking. Ooh, mercy, ribald. Positively ribald. I'm terribly sorry, but if that's what you've been taught in the Crinkletonian education system, then someone needs to write some angry letters yesterday. He shakes his head. Then let me cure whatever they've poisoned you with. An owl's favorite food is custard. Glorious custard. Granted, an individual owl's taste might vary when it comes to other foodstuffs. Some of us even find a few kind of cheeses mildly tolerable. But shove a bit of custard in front of any owl, and they'll follow you to the ends of the earth. Now that you think about it, it is strange that you thought he'd eat mice, but there's something inexorable at the back of your mind, some nagging feeling. Something that makes you twitch away just a little when you catch a glimpse of his open beak. Owls don't eat mice, and you have no evidence that they do, but an illogical echo tells you a long time ago they did. And not only that, they spat out the bones and the fur in little pellets. Good Lord, what's wrong with you? He's a botany student, for God's sake. He wouldn't rip the skin off an onion. Now, where were we? Ah, yes, custard. Wait a second. I had custard for breakfast this morning. Do I have any left? Now that you think about it, you remember impulse buying a pot of custard larger than yourself. You keep in a dark, cold shed in your yard because it's too big for your house. Just this morning, while you were making breakfast, you said to yourself that you ought to get rid of the stuff quickly before it went bad. This owl's rather large, and he loves custard. Take a look at his talons. Those claws are very large. He could easily pluck the cheese from the cheese flower and fly it over to... Oh! Do you know what that means? Well, since he's such a fan of custard, then clearly he's got a cheese gun we could borrow. No. Mr. Barnaby, I've got a large amount of custard I need to get rid of post-haste. May I ask you a favor? Barnaby groans, slapping a wing over his face. Hoo hoo hoo, brother. That's what I get for wearing my weakness on my sleeve. Though, one pot's hardly a treasure trove, so don't expect me to grant your every wish. Well, if you wouldn't mind taking the cheese from this cheese flower off to Stanley Twitcher's cheese shop in Crinkleton, that custard is as good as yours. He sighs. Oh well, I suppose that's worth a pot of custard. Though it had better be good. With a groan and a flap of his wings, Bartleby's in the air. He snatches the cheese from its stem with his right foot. Mr. Twitcher's shop, was it? Well, here's hoping he's got a large landing area in front of Chomp. The owl's pupils shrink into pinpricks. His wings stop beating, and he falls to the ground. Mr. Bartleby, what's wrong? It's not too heavy, is it? Yeah. Get it off, 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 get it off. So was that a yes or a no on the too heavy point? Because I'm terribly sorry if it was more than you could carry. You hear a spitting noise. The owl's left leg flies through the air, minus its body. A trail of what you're really hoping is strawberry cordial follows it through the air. Mr. Bartleby's screams are no longer coherent. He's sobbing and wailing uncontrollably. The cheese has teeth. It's eating the owl. So it was too heavy. Oh well. The cheese has teeth. It's eating the owl. Don't be daft. Cheese doesn't bite anyone. That's the opposite of how it works. I want you to do something for me. Low effort, I swear. I want you to simply look at what's happening to Mr. Bartleby. Then tell me, in your own words, what the cheese is doing. Very well. You take a closer look. Mr. Bartleby is prone, twitching, gasping. Blood is dripping from his wide-open beak as he chokes. A large block of white cheddar is currently nuzzling through a cavity it just bit open in his chest, biting off entrails and flipping them away like it's trying to find a piece of dirty laundry in a pile. As far back as you can remember, there has never been one act of intentional violence in Crinkleton's borders. Animals never harmed other animals. Fighting was a thing for storybooks. It's not that Crinkletonians hate violence, it's that letting violent action follow violent thought never seems worth the effort. Even cheese hunting was fought against prey that was never alive. You don't know how to feel, but you think that this might have something to do with that weird, nagging thought about what owls once ate. Erwin Bartleby is dead. The cheese, bearing jaws full of razor-sharp teeth, turned to face you. Its crystalline fangs glisten in the sunlight. You grip the hilt of the purple toothpick with both hands. The tip wobbles. Prepare yourself. The cheese hops forward, bounding across the dirt toward you. Ask the cheese nicely to stop. Excuse me, good Mr. Murder Cheese. If you would be so kind as to refrain from murdering me, that would be most sporting of... Chomp. Huh. You'd think being bitten in half would hurt more. I suppose your nervous system thought a warning would have been redundant. Ending 1D. Going halfsies. As per OSHA regulations, this story is equipped with back buttons to minimize narrative workplace fatalities. Try again. Turn around and run away. You turn tail and dash away, making a beeline for the east. It goes well for about 10 seconds. The sound of its incessant hopping grows quiet behind you. The sound stops. You stop. Oh, the cheese made a mighty leap. Turn around in midair. It lands right in front of you. The cheese is now only one short hop away, its mouth foaming savagely. You need to act now. Hold the sword out in front of you to pierce the cheese's face. As the cheese jumps in for the kill, the sword ends up hilt deep in its snout, I guess? Anyway, It's now roaring with pain. You hold on to the hilt white-knuckled. The cheese thrashes from side to side. You never let go, not even when the blade slips out of the cheese's wound. You tumble through the air, landing across the dirt. As you stagger back up, you see the cheese charging you in the distance. Wait until the cheese comes closer. The cheese is now only one short hop away, its mouth foaming savagely. You need to act now. Gonna hold the sword out. You spin and run away, but the cheese is too close. It's too late. Chomp. Its jaws snap over the tip of your tail. The pain is enough to make you lightheaded. Thrashing about wildly, the cheese swings you around in the air. After a few short spins, it flings you away. You land headfirst into the sturdy trunk of a pine tree, and like that, the pain in your tail is mercifully cut short. Ending 2D, Solange Bowser. Run to the side. You dive to your left. Going right wouldn't have made a difference. The cheese follows you as it hops forward, but it turns much more slowly than it charges. Run behind the cheese and climb on top. With your sword in your mouth, you scurry to the top of the block. The cheese thrashes defiantly. Stab into the top of the cheese. The cheese yowls as you plant the sword in what passes for its scalp. Its hops are slightly stunted now. You must have lodged it in a critical area. It's still trying to thrash you off, so you grasp the sword tightly. Suddenly, you hear a feminine voice from the east. This way! Steer it! Lean the hilt toward the eastern voice. Beg your pardon, ma'am, but what do you mean by steer it? Your confusion causes you to lose your grip just a little too much. With one violent flip, the sword is loosed from its head wound. You're sent flying onto the ground. You somersault across the dirt, feeling your dignity blow away in the wind with every little tumble. The distant voice groans in frustration. You turn to face the charging cheese once again. Okay, let's... Lean the hilt towards the eastern voice. The cheese's cries of pain are warped by the sword's movement. Moving and pointing the hilt seems to pervert its internal workings to move toward that particular direction. If the word joystick meant anything other than a twig for smacking a little hoop around, you'd understand this a little more. The cheese hops mindlessly towards the source voice. It makes one final desperate leap through some undergrowth. Steam, smoke, the pungent stench of fondue. Everything below you is ablaze with light. The cheese squeals out a short, sharp cry. Its thrashing becomes slower and slower. You find your line of sight slowly coming to the ground. Pull the sword out and jump off. You leap off, sword in hand. You pant with exhaustion, but the smoke from the burning cheese is too thick to even breathe. You step away for a minute to catch your breath. And just when you've taken your first deep breath in what feels like forever, you notice a dark, looming shape to your right. There, clad in a purple woolen cloak and multiple tattered scarves, stands the source of the voice, a hare. Some field mice say that hares are hard to tell apart from rabbits, but your grandmother once told you a trick to see the difference. Rabbits don't have a look in their eye like they saw the moment of their own death in the future and look forward to it. This hare was no exception, a hunched over and emaciated mystic of a beast, young in body but ancient in spirit. She holds out her forepaws toward the smoke and molten cheese as if holding the strings of a puppet, concentrating intensely. She takes one quick glance at you, then falls back to starting at the cheese. She takes one quick glance at you, then goes back to staring at the cheese. My name's Gregory Sniffings, I know. A few seconds pass, then she grumbles, irritated by her own rudeness. Call me Lucerne. Suddenly, she drops her hands back to the ground. She bows her head, panting. There, it's dead, thank God. Sorry, I didn't come early enough to save that owl. You look toward where the cheese once stood melting. All that's left is ashes, surrounded a red pot perfect square in the ground, blazing and bubbling with some kind of molten metal. Lucerne makes a half-hearted gesture with her right hand, and the square closes up. Oh, so you laid a trap for the cheese. Is that magic? Are you a magician? Which fits the bill better, I'd say. Oh, well, are you a good witch or a bad witch? She gestures to the cheese cinders. I'd be more concerned with good and bad cheese if I were you. Speaking of which, whatever was the matter with that nasty cheese? She shakes her head. Long story. Similar cases have been popping up everywhere. Not just cheese. Wagons tearing their drivers apart. Farmland swallowing up farmers. Stagecoaches chewing up their passengers and spitting them out. It's called the bee sting. Some say it's a plague, a curse, or the devil's work. But I know the truth about the bee sting. It's a symptom of a greater, ancient, world-spanning disaster that's been raging for eons, and only someone from your bloodline, the Sniffings family, can solve it. You don't say. Then I know just what to do. My father's a magistrate. I'll have him draft up a law against inanimate objects to engaging in violence. That'll show him. She places both paws on your shoulders. Her bulging eyes stare you down. You feel half an inch shorter. You don't understand, Gregory. Actually, I think you do. Every Sniffings understands what's going on. It's just that some display it more than others. As for you, you fuss and fret and overthink every day-to-day problem to death. But when it seems like everyone around you is calm, that's not something wrong with you. That's something unbearably right. You know something is wrong with the world on a spiritual, subconscious level. You think owls eat mice without any basis. You think a gun is something to bring on a hunt without guns or real blood sport ever existing in the first place. Your soul remembers the world as it was thousands of years ago, as it should be. I mean, look around you. Cheese grows on fucking flowers. There's something deeply, fundamentally wrong with the world, and you can't see it, but what if you could? Imagine the peace it would bring you. What do you expect me to do? She points upward, toward the north. She speaks with twisted reverence. In the middle of a frozen lake to the distant north stands the Silver Tower, 12 miles high. There, at the summit, the Scarlet King sits at his golden pipe organ, playing the songs that twist ever tighter the unbreakable chains around our minds. Oh, I had a dream just like that once. Well, except the tower was made out of gooseberry jam, and there were as a jolly little accordionist, and I'm not thinking of the same thing, am I? Shivering, she grins, baring both rows of teeth. Gregory, I'm going to save the world from the tyranny of the Silver Tower, and you're coming with me. Oh, beans and toast. Note from Mr. Horace in the Hole. Oi, Gregory, that was Act 1 of 5. This ain't gonna be the smoothest mail run if you catch my drift. You'd best pack a lunch, mate. Listen, My cousin Cletus heard you were headed out, and he damn near pitched a fit unless I swore I'd relay this message to you. The best way to save your progress is to bookmark these offset pages or visit the guide in the comments section, which is apparently something you'd be familiar with if you've read 8005. If that don't mean a thing to you, we're in the same boat. Bear in mind that Cletus is the sort of bloke what nibbles on chalk and thinks he was born on Neptune. Great dancer, though. Anyways, happy hunting, you rapscallion. Okay.